guys, welcome to today's workout. It is going to focus on the camel spin, the sit spin, and the layback spin. We're going to work on several off-ice exercises that mainly focuses on our stability, alignment, balance, and posture. For our first movement, we are going to do a dynamic hip airplane. So when we do camel spins, we have to externally rotate our hips. So this is a great way to build and increase our range of motion. We're going to start off, make sure your standing/skating leg has a slight knee bend, and I'm going to look like a T. So my arms are going to start off parallel to the ground, just like a camel spin. I'm going to hinge. That way I am over my skating hip. So first, I'm starting off an external rotation. So my hip bone is turned out and I'm opening up my foot here. So notice my glute is engaged. First, I'm going to drop my hip, turn in, internally rotate, and then I'm going to open up my hip and externally rotate. So I'm going to keep doing that. So turn my foot in, turn my hip in. To make this easier, you can also hold on to a bench, wall, or a chair. Hinge forward. My spine is neutral. Make sure my glutes engaged. I'm going to turn in, drop the hip, then turn out, hip turn in, find a range of motion, and then turn out. It's really tricky to do without holding onto something, so I recommend trying that first. Next, I like to teach that entering a camel spin, there are two parts. So there is a part that you bend. So you bend, you balance over your skating foot, and your free leg is low. And then there is the part where you go right into your camel position. So let's call that position 1 and position 2. We're going to practice maintaining the stacked hip positions. As you know, for camel spins, that free hip has to be over the skating hip. That way you can maintain the camel spin. The most common thing I see is that your hip drops, it's over here, so you're not able to hold the camel spin as long. So from this view, camel spin, you should be stacked. If you're here, or your foot is turned down, you're not externally rotated, then you will fall out of your camel spin or have really deep inside edges. So you want a nice, tight, and centered camel spin. So we're gonna go up and down, and we're gonna try to do this 5 times in a row. So first position, you're down, 1, 2, and then rise up, 1, 2. Now go down, 1, 2, engage your core, stabilize your pelvis, up, 1, 2, stack. So in order for me to stay balanced here, I'm really holding a lot of tension. So I'm squeezing my glutes, pointing my toe. I'm imagining that there's a rubber band from this hand to my free leg. And then arch your back, squeeze your core, head up. And think about your nose being parallel to the ice. We're also going to repeat that on the other side. To make this a little easier, try holding on to an object like a wall or a chair. So on my left leg, I can hold on here, 1, 2, rise up, 1, 2, hold. I can use this to come down, 1, 2, go up, balance, 1, 2. So as a checkpoint, remember hips are over the skating foot, and you have an arched back, eyes up, nose parallel to the ice. Now we're going to work on some negatives. This is going to be done while we are in an eccentric movement, meaning that our body is getting more relaxed. This is a great way to build up more strength. It is more time under tension, and this is exactly what we need for spins in order to hold them for longer. So really think about firing up your glutes here. Leg is back, I'm externally rotated, upper body is prepped. So I'm going to first go into my camel spin position. Go down for a slow count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Power up, and I'm going to pull my core up to finish the spin. To make this harder, you can go right into the next rep, or you can put your foot down in between. So we're going to try to do 5 of those in a row. So stack. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 count, power up, pull yourself up. I'm going to keep repeating that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Power up. Pull your core into your spine. Make sure you're stacked here as you're coming out of the spin. Another way to make this more challenging is to go into a difficult variation of a spin. Perhaps we could try to do a camel sideways. So I'm going to camel sideways. 1, 2, 3, 4. Power up. And come through. Side camel. 1, 2, 3, 4. And come up. Stand tall. Next, we're going to do some sit spin work. We have a front sit and a back sit. So we need to work on unilateral strength. It's important to work on the glute, core, pelvis, hamstring, calf strength because they all work together for the sit spin. First, we have a single leg squat. We can use a bench or a table or a chair like this. I'm going to have my shoulders relaxed, arms out, like my sit spin position. So I'm going to lower with control. 1, 2, tap, come up, 1, 2, squeeze at the top, engage the core at the end of the movement. So the key is doing this with control. So lower, 1, 2, quick tap, come up with control, 3, 4. So this is important because when you do a sit spin, it is a gradual, slowly lowering to center your spin, and you're gradually rising up to come out of your spin. I think coming out of the sit spin is the hardest part. So if you look at my upper body, I'm really making sure I'm pulling my chest up, keeping my back straight and head up to come out of the spin. We can make this easier by keeping both feet about hip to shoulder width apart and doing this on 2 feet. So come now, 1, 2, quick tap, 3, 4, squeeze at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, come out. A few ways we can make this harder. I could come down, 1, 2, and a quick power up. So basically I'm adding more power and explosion to the end of the movement. So go down, 1, 2, 1 count up. I could also add a hop or a big jump at the end of the movement. So 1, 2, drive up, hips extend, hop. Make sure I'm stabilized when I land my jump. Repeat, 1, 2, drive up, hop, land with control, 1, 2, extend the knees, extend the hips. My torso is upright and stable the whole time. Lastly, I can add a weight to the movement. Find a weight of your choice that feels comfortable. Stand on one leg. 1, 2. Rise up. 3, 4. 1, 2. As I rise up, my hips stay level. My shoulder stays level. Nothing drops. Nothing folds forward. Just like the camel spin, we can work on negatives to build single leg strength. Slow counts. On one leg, 1, 2, 3, 4, quick drive up, 1, 2, 3, 4, quick drive up. We can make this even harder by doing a difficult variation of our spin. If I have a sit where I'm twisted to the side, we could try that. 1, 2, 3, 4, drive up. I can do this in the pancake as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, drive up. 1, 2, 3, 4, drive up. 1, 2, 3, 4, drive up. If the initial load is not enough, 1, 2, 3, 4, press up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Stand tall. Lastly, we're going to work on a combination of sit spin strength and our upper body mobility. That way we can get and nail those difficult sit spin variations. Heel in front to help with your balance. So normally with sit spinning, my foot's in front of my spinning foot. I'm just going to rest that heel and try to sit as low as I can. And I'm going to try to do a mobility shoulder exercise called open the book. So hands in front, I'm going to open my shoulder, turn, look back, rest. I'm going to repeat on the other side. And then stand up. We can try that on the other foot. I'm going to sit, rest the heel, back is straight. So I'm turning my head as far back as I can. Shoulder line is straight, my back is turned to the wall. Come back, repeat on the other side, and then stand tall. We're working on a lot of things with this movement. T-spine mobility, shoulder mobility, also the head, and that's what we need for challenging spins. We need to challenge our torso, our head, and our gravity to get this called. Remember to repeat on both legs. To make that a little easier, we could do that on 2 feet. You can go into a squat or a half or a quarter squat. So same thing, open the book, bring it back, open the book, bring it back. You can also make this a little easier by doing a bow and arrow variation. So here, pull back. So you're pulling right by your rib cage, coming through, bend your elbow, pull right by. To make that a little easier, we could do that on 2 feet. You can go into a squat or a half or a quarter squat. So same thing, open the book, bring it back, open the book, bring it back. You can also make this a little easier by doing a bow and arrow variation. So here, pull back. So you're pulling right by your rib cage, coming through, bend your elbow, pull right by your rib cage. So you can still open up that shoulder, but since your arm is closer to your body, there's less of a lever, so it is a little easier to achieve. Lastly, for our spin chapter, let's work on some layback spins. We need to have a strong core, flexible, and strong hips because we're lifting that skate for quite some time as we're spinning. First, we're going to work on internal and external rotation. Stand on one leg, stable and level hips and shoulders. This is internal rotation. So my leg is closer to midline. Keep the core engaged, pelvis strong so there's no twisting. And open up as much as you can without twisting. You may want to hold on to a chair or wall to make this easier. You can have your arms out to help with balance too. So torso is tight and tall. Open up as much as you can without losing your balance. Squeeze and engage. Come back in and lower the leg. And now we'll repeat on the other side. Go nice and slow. 1, 2. Open up with control. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm slow and attentional about all my movement. If I'm going up and going through it very fast and very shaky, I'm not challenging and I'm not engaging the correct muscles. Therefore, I'm not going to be able to build my flexibility and mobility. So be mindful of your movement. So mind to muscle connection. Stand tall. 1, 2. Open up. 3, 4, close, internal rotation, 5, 6, down, 7, 8, 1, 2, external rotation, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You can make this harder by holding weight or arms up in the air. So I can do arms up in the air first. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, squeeze your butt, 5, 6, 7, 8, or grab a dumbbell. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, squeeze the core, 7, 8, or even overhead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So notice throughout all those movements, my upper body, my belly button is square to the direction I'm looking at. Next, we have some standing fire hydrants. So I'm going to loop the band above my knees. Stand tall. This is going to really work on some of the stabilizer glute muscles, the smaller glute muscles that are responsible for keeping your hip and pelvis aligned and checked. I'm going to bend the leg. I'm going to lift. 1, 2, come back 3, 4. So think about my glute being engaged. You can even put your hand on your glute to feel that action. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is a great way to build up strength. That way you can hold those attitudes and the layback spins. So I'm standing tall the whole time, looking up, shoulders are back. Draw your belly button in. You always want to repeat on both sides, of course. So I'm going to switch legs. I'm going to have my arms out 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. So go nice and slow in your movements. To make this easier, you can do it without the band. I like using the band because it gives me that extra squeeze so I know that I'm engaging the correct muscles. Ground yourself over your standing foot so you're nice and balanced. Lastly, we have the Superman movement. This is a great double whammy, building your upper body strength, your low back strength, core strength, and activating your hips and glute. So we're going to lay on our stomachs. Arms are in front of me, feet are behind, and I'm going to lift my legs, lift my upper back. Try to get your shoulders away from the ground as best as you can. Squeeze your glute, lift, lift, lift. Try to aim for a 5 count, and then we're going to lower with control. So squeeze, hold, hold, hold. Remember to breathe. Keep pushing that range of motion. Lower with control. To make this easier, you can do just your upper body, and I can also have my hands back behind me. So I can do upper body only, building up the core and back muscles, pulling my shoulders away from my ears and away from the ground, coming back down with control. Lift, breathe, glutes are engaged, come down.